What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel where we get you on the grind and improve your mind. In this video, we're going to dissect this video that I found. I thought it'd be a little interesting to share with you guys and give our thoughts on it. It's Mike's first time watching, so he's going to be reacting. Men going their own ways necessary. So, at first, I used to think, what is MGTOW? Apparently, it's guys who, are least focusing on women and more focusing on their passions and purposes in life, and they're trying to do their own thing. So, let's get into it and react to this video. Alright guys, so we're going to play this video and see what's going on.
Yeah, so I'll put the video on the screen for you guys to watch along while I react to this for my first time.
The inevitable men striking out on their own. He claims that society lacks the emotional and social intelligence to comprehend that if men are mistreated long enough, they will eventually go their own way. More than likely, society expects males to continue suffering abuse indefinitely. Men are being marginalized as nothing more than sperm donors, human wallets, and labor slaves is too loud to be quiet, and the lives of the fourth wave feminist critique. So instead of promoting MGTOW as a group of unsuccessful, poor, and unattractive men who can't get a Dayton quote, they promote the idea that MGTOW is a group of men who label themselves as losers. But fourth wave feminists can't call someone a loser if they're already labeling themselves as a loser. MGTOW didn't actually have a label until lately, but that it was simply objective truth that a man recognized on his own. In the past, this was referred to as being a confirmed bachelor. The definition of a confirmed bachelor is, he never intends to put a ring on anything ever. A confirmed bachelor is a man who has made up his mind that he will never marry. In quotes, it's also been used as a pejorative slang for a gay man. Many people in the MGTOW community are used to being labeled gay for refusing to date and marry. That kind of humiliating.
I guess a lot of what it is, like MGTOW is sort of like trying to, as I said before, trying to get away from the women, the whole dating aspect, and kind of focus more on yourself and trying to get a little bit better in different areas. But you have to remember that it's also important to focus on women at certain points, because if you don't, you're going to make grave mistakes. So what I mean is, like, if you're not, if you completely take yourself out of the game and you don't try to, meet new women and try to get yourself in the world and stuff in that aspect, it's going to hurt you, because, I think it's very important to understand female nature and to, see the world through what it really is. But they sort of promote kind of, don't deal with them at all. And, I think it's necessary to have kind of the best of both worlds. You need to be in the world, and you need to accept what is, and with doing that, you need to go into all aspects of life and learn from every single different quarter of life. You need to learn about the business side of life and how to deal with people, but you also need to deal with the dating life and how to understand the opposite sex. Many men who fail to do that end up with their wives abusing them, and they end up in these horrible relationships because they don't understand, human relationship dynamics, and they're extremely thirsty, and they don't have a strong emotional intelligence because they simply don't have the experience to go out there and meet new women. So they are emotionally stunted in a way. Yeah,
and a lot of people, they try to say like, oh, MGTOW is bad, and I don't fully 100% like disagree or agree with them. It's more of just like MGTOW should be used as more of like a tool. I feel like this is like MGTOW of like men like not focusing on women and doing stuff for themselves is definitely good if you are in like a horrible state on your own and you want to rebuild yourself before you're doing anything else. I feel like using this is definitely good for that, and then using it as a transition point once you complete that goal of yours to better yourself, then you go and you do all the other aspects like Andrew was saying. I feel like it's necessary for short term for certain things like rebuilding your mental health and stuff like that. So
men and women are better together than they are apart. So it's very important that you try to find the balance and the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So let's continue.
Dating language is all too widespread, and it's no longer effective. For men, this includes financial, psychological, and social survival, among other things. Fourth wave feminists believe that MGTOW does not subscribe to the premise that women are victims, and hence it must be silenced by any means necessary. But how do you quiet a group of men who have neither a political ideology nor a hatred for each other? It's decentralized and without a leader. A Western guy who goes his own path accumulates more riches while lowering his risks and lives longer. When it comes to MGTOW, the fourth wave feminist movement, a sizable fourth wave feminist movement, is enraged because they are no longer in command. Going MGTOW is a means for guys to free themselves and escape all types of rape, such as sperm jacking, divorce, rape, or losing their job.
Like I said, we can
That the legislation...
I guess it would be understandable to sort of take, if you are a man and you go through a really bad experience, like, sometimes, rape can happen to either gender, and it does happen. So it would make sense, due to a man's experience, maybe he had a really bad divorce or a bad rape, it would make sense to sort of take himself out of the game for a little bit and not even look at women, not even try to talk to them. So sometimes your experiences do shape your worldviews, and so it kind of makes sense. The world can be dangerous out there, but once again, I think this could also come from, not understanding women and not understanding red flags, not understanding, different things that may come up. Because a lot of you guys, you can't hold yourself when it comes to a girl. You just let yourself go. You're emotionally unstable. You get angry very easily. You're very emotional. You don't understand when women are basically shit testing you. Like, you don't understand how to handle certain situations. And then when crazy stuff happens to you, then everything just goes haywire. So it comes to having a critical understanding of how the way women are, what life is going to go, and really understanding the opposite gender is extremely important with that kind of thing. You just have to understand red flags, and sometimes, it can have a lot of consequences.
Exactly. Oh, let's continue.
is intended to damage a man and permanently remove him from the dating scene. It's fine to turn a monster into a man. If a woman makes a false complaint against him, he's a monster. But if he willingly withdraws from the dating pool, he's a monster. They're the only ones who aren't monsters. So there was the date or desire for women who are breast obsessed. The story of Robin Williams being raped by his first wife after being divorced, and being obliged to pay $50,000 per month for the rest of your life, rather than $100,000 per month. For life with the second one, that's $1.8 million a year for life for a man who had never committed a crime. It's no surprise he committed suicide.
A lot of you guys, I personally have said this in the past. I think that's one of the reasons why Robin Williams did commit suicide, is because it's not really talked about, on the mainstream media, because they don't want you to know this, because they want you to get married and spend money on jewelry, and that's whatever. I can talk about that all day. But Robin Williams and other celebrities are not perfect, right? You guys see them on the screen and you think that they're so beloved and they're not going through anything. Well, behind the scenes, there's always going to be a Will Smith. There's always going to be a Johnny Depp. There's always going to be a Robin Williams. And actually, I didn't know this until the other day, but I found out Jim Carrey actually back in the 90s had a really bad divorce as well, and he had to pay a lot of money, and it really took a toll on his depression and everything. And once again, this comes back to not understanding women. You get yourself into dumb situations. You marry the wrong woman. You don't know what you're doing. You can't handle, these problems that arise. And you don't have enough experience with women to be able to deal with women. So that comes to that as well. But a lot of these celebrities do go off the wall. And it gets really bad because they have these really bad relationships and it affects their work. And, some celebrities like Robin Williams, I definitely think a big part of it was his relationship, his divorce and everything, and it definitely played into his suicide. I'm definitely convinced of that. But you don't really hear that enough. People will say, why would Robin Williams be depressed? He was like, he made so much money, he made so many people laugh. It's all about the brain chemistry. It's all about what happens, And, a woman can make or break you if you're not a strong man. And Robin Williams probably did not handle his relationships the best. And unfortunately, it cost him his life.
Exactly, and also having to pay X amount of money probably also was
that
not...
probably hurt him as well, because his whole life he had to pay money to his ex-wife, and that's no way to live. Some men can. I can't live with that. No way. That's no way. I'm not doing it. No. I have work to do. I don't have time to be paying some ex. If I'm not banging you, why would I be paying you? Just dumb. But that's.
Let's continue.
Suicide. Jeff Bezos has a net worth of $38 billion. Mel Gibson has a net worth of $425 million. Harrison Ford has a score of 118. In addition to avoiding false charges at work, men should avoid intimate contacts with women. When you don't have to worry about
having contact with women, they think might be a bad thing because they want to avoid any false accusations of like trying to hit on the woman at work, and some men feel that the best decision is just to not even work with them, which is actually very sad that society's coming to this. Even though I do believe men and women have their own different spaces, and sometimes when you put them together, things are going to go down. Like when men and women are working at like grocery stores and stuff, they are banging, they'll obviously, ask me how I know. Like, a lot of times when you pair men and women together, they're gonna end up like banging anyway, and there's gonna be these kind of relationships. Unfortunately, I don't think you really do anything to stop that. It's just sort of nature, and it's gonna happen. So whatever. But a lot of men are choosing to opt out or not even trying to work with women because they just want to be around the energy and they don't want to be. It's I guess it's about risk management at that point. How can we find a solution for that? Well, it really comes up to you with what you want to do with your life, but
Yeah, that, and also understanding how women work, because you can always try to, you could still work with women without actually working with them and having to deal with whatever that they bring. Because, sometimes women, depending upon their personality and stuff, they can like bring certain dramas within certain coworkers and stuff. And like, you don't want to deal with that. But another way to get around that is just by like not being emotionally attached to any of that specific situations with work. Like, sometimes I'll deal with stuff like that at work, but like I'm not emotionally attached to like that specific thing, so I only focus on like my job specifically, and I don't really care about all the bullshit behind the scenes with that kind of stuff. And I just clock in, do my job, do whatever I need to do, talk to the buddies that I have at work, and go. And I don't worry about whatever other shit, because that also will affect your mental health and all that other type of stuff. And that's stuff that you don't really want to deal with. So
yeah, at the workplace, you just have to avoid saying dumb shit. Don't be a moron when you're at the workplace saying dumb things to women that you know is going to get yourself in trouble, especially if you know if she's not attracted to you. Because if you're a man who deals with women you understand female nature, you're going to be able to tell when a woman's into you anyway. So you have to really build up that emotional intelligence to really understand the social cues and everything to tell if a woman would even be receptive to certain things that you'd say. You got to be careful. Don't be a moron and stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Being ruined by a woman, life becomes a lot less stressful and a lot more steady. If she tries anything like that at work, and you've been single for 5 years like me, don't be surprised. You can just inform your HR department or co-workers that you are gay, thereby shaming yourself and portraying yourself as the greater victim. And if they continue to push it, you'll go to the newspapers with your story. It's possible that she'll be fired by the corporation. Women can then say they were raped merely by looking at them in the wrong manner. In the land of divorce, rape the artistic gay man with no facial expressions or emotions. At least no one can accuse Mark Zuckerberg of looking at them the wrong way because his face is always neutral. No more dinners with female coworkers. Don't seat next to them on flights. Book hotel rooms on other floors to prevent one-on-one meetings. Indeed, as one wealth advisor put it, hiring a woman these days is a risky proposition. What if she misinterpreted something you said? Males avoiding women at work is only the first step, according to unquote men. Men in Scandinavian countries nearly fully separate themselves from women. Why do you think politics is getting crazier than ever and will soon be a female-dominated profession if they may choose risky, nasty, and challenging occupations where few women follow? Because they leech off men, women can succeed in co-ed environments. In the female-dominated ones, on the other hand, women are always striving for power. That is exactly how it should be, and you can't really blame males for going their own way. A man who is determined to go his own way does not despise women. MGTOW isn't a new concept. Men are inherently coded to provide and protect women, not just because it's a trendy title. When women accuse men who go their own way of being...
It's interesting, I guess, that we've never, if you look throughout history, we've never had access to so much sexuality and so much, if you're a single man in this world, it's actually hard not to interact with women. It's hard to not, be trying to date out there, because it's just everywhere. Like, go to a grocery store, you see a woman. Go to a bar, you see a woman. This is all new from a humanistic, evolutionary perspective, because, look at the hunter-gatherers. You didn't have a bunch of women drinking, having fun, and, it used to be about survival. Now it's about just casual fun these days, and things have changed. It's really interesting that, MGTOW, I guess you could say, used to be a more manly trait, because you didn't have access to, females everywhere. Like, if you look on the internet now, boobs everywhere. Everything is sexual. We've talked about that in previous videos. Everything is just so sexual now. These celebrities always getting naked. Women, just protest by getting naked in the street, in some countries, It's just crazy. It's really hard to get away from female sexuality as a man.
Yeah.
You know, like our sexuality is on overdrive right now because of all the, but back in the day, we didn't have access to girls all the time. So there would be, now you could have sex every day if you, or like non-monogamous, trying to have sex with women. Or back in the day, like you had your tribe of men and you try to survive, you hunt buffalo, and maybe you find a goal, maybe you reproduce, and maybe you don't, or you die. But it's just very interesting how society from the millions of years we've existed, or millions, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's interesting how we've evolved and how much society has really changed and how much connected we've really become, to the world we are in now. So very interesting.
Yeah, and with like what you were saying with men and women always being around each other is like it's decently new, but it's also more new like workspace wise because that was really started pretty much around World War II time and a little bit after that because a lot of the men were out in World War II and the women had to do all the jobs that the men that were doing, but now all the men are now fighting, so the women had to do those, and so when they came back, women wanted to still work because they felt like they were doing something. So now once all the men came back, now there's just huge co-ed where women were just the ones that were at home, and the men were the ones that were working, and now both of them can work, and so pretty much right after there is where all that stuff came about.
Yeah. By the way, this is a reminder that for all the women watching, the government wants you to work so you can contribute to the economy. It's all part of the master plan. You're falling for it. You're going to hate yourself, and you're going to be drinking, and the alcohol sales are going up, and that's a whole nother video, but we'll talk about that later. Just want to point that out.
Just blame the girl poster. Just blame that one.
Yeah.
Blame
Yeah.
that.
Get that money, girl. Get that money. Forget the kids. Who needs families anymore? Whatever. I'll just bang all of them. Whatever.
Okay. Let's continue.
Way of being misogynists. They are projecting and implying that we despise them before realizing that it is they who despise us. Either that, or they're too foolish to understand that men and women aren't the same, and that we don't share the same stupid grudges and feelings.
This is true.
Women, on the other hand, are not terrified of men. They know that the majority of men will protect them from the evil
Well,
people.
I do have to say something on that. A lot of women actually are terrified of men, from my experience. Some of them, at least. Because they've gone through some traumatic shit. And the reason for that, because we did a video about this if you go back, and we did a video on a girl that sent me a text message. She was asking for help because she was being abused in a relationship. A lot of you guys out there are not the victim. You are the aggressor. And I know this because the countless women I've been with, I've heard many horror stories over the years of girls that have been abused by their exes. And, one time a woman came on a date and she had a bruise. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, yeah, my ex did this to me. This is like crazy stuff. So, like, I've heard, the many stories that women have told me, in confidential, as we're laying in the bed after sex. And they'd be telling me, these crazy stories about how they've gone through a lot of traumatic stuff and they've been hit and they've been, like, raped before. And so I've heard a lot of crazy, interesting stories that do point to the fact that a lot of men simply do not have emotional self-control. And a lot of relationships are bad because a lot of you guys can't control yourself with a woman and you end up hitting them. And you constantly curse them out, and you're just emotionally abusive, and you're just dumb, low IQ. You do these things to women that you would never do to a man, because if you did this stuff to a man, we'd beat the hell out of you. And it'd be a fight, and you die, and we'd just kill you and shoot you. But these girls are just kind of, they don't have the same body strength as us, so that's a whole other, I just thought that'd be interesting to point out. So stop with being a victimhood and learn how to self-improve yourself and your emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
They know that they can abuse and insult men all they want, and most of those guys will still put their lives on the line to save them. The higher a man's money and social status, the more likely he is to face false accusations. MGTOW has no strikes, demonstrations, purple hair color, or calls for men to adhere to our beliefs. Our philosophy is that you should be able to do whatever you want,
I believe that.
as long as your wife doesn't put your balls in a vice. We don't pay enough attention to women's resources. The crickets of disinterest are what we give them. Indifference, not hate, is the antithesis of love, and it is what drives the mat. Bob also mentions that young guys are now going their own way. That feminism has become so clear that even younger male generations are picking it up on it faster than ever before, and that the red pilling process is starting sooner than ever before. This is occurring as a result of gender-based propaganda reaching boys at much younger ages in elementary school. My theory is that ladies are witnessing older guys go their own way and believe that brainwashing the lads will stop this. They try it, and the boys notice it sooner, leading to a faster red pill. Waldykes all over the world are caught in a negative feedback loop. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, the concept is that males must speak up about women's experiences in order for them to be acknowledged. Women strive that much harder to condition us if males don't repeat what they say. MGTOW gets rid of the interception monologue. The left thinks guys are stupid, but they aren't, and they are rebelling at a quicker rate than ever before. There will be more MGTOW in the future, but there will be much more incel black pillars. Such sexually deficient males...
To touch on that, there is a rise of guys not having sex or anything, and due to that fact, so remember like what I said before about sexuality is so crazy overabundant right now. So with all the sexuality being pushed on the brain, and all these guys not having sex, what do you get with that chemical reaction? You get a lot of unhinged males that don't know what they're doing, that are desperate, they're thirsty. That's why OnlyFans girls make so much money. That's why a lot of these things happen, because a lot of guys simply, not only can they not get laid because they're just dumb, they just don't understand women from that point of view. But, it's also, there is a rise of sexless guys, and that creates a problem in and out of itself.
Exactly. There's especially if like porn sites get so much money because people go on it all the time. OnlyFans girls get so much money because people subscribe to them all the time. These guys that do these things are not getting sex, and they're not getting anything from other women. And so they're putting themselves in this situation where I can't get it from a real person, let me get it from this instead. And they'll blame other people. They won't blame their own actions to and try to improve themselves to actually get the things that they want. They're like, oh, I can't get sex, so I'm gonna just do this because I won't be able to. I won't be able to have sex with this person because I'm this or I'm that. But instead of actually doing something with themselves to be like, okay, I wanna try to have sex with this girl. Let me go and talk to her. Let me see what goes on and see where this can go, because that's the ultimate goal for me. I want to do that. But and certain guys, they're not going to be able to understand that they have that ability they have their own power to do that, and some of them just feel like they're all victims all the time. Let us continue.
Efficient males should terrify women. When someone in a cell shoots up a yoga class or something, they shouldn't expect midtown males in chat rooms to run to their aid. Women expect men to play both masculine and feminine roles, even if they're increasingly fitting neither. They don't want a wealthy man who can cook or a man who can clean. It can, however, be a mechanic, a constructor. That's also an artist, a powerful leader, but also a passive follower who's always willing to lend a shoulder to weep on but isn't emotionally career-focused but rather family-oriented. The list of contradictions is endless. I believe this is one of the most unusual observations about males I've heard in a long time, and I've seen men who tried to follow these rules with pampered gold-digging wives. Those women, by the way, were from Eastern Europe. So, what hope is there in meeting a good woman in the West when ladies in the East are already like that? You can't go back to being some roaming feminist with a rising girth once you've been red-pilled about female nature. Once a man goes his...
This whole thing about like men being victims and stuff, it's, you choose to make yourself a victim. So
Yeah.
You guys, a lot of guys, they put themselves in situations in which they can be allowed to be a victim. Why if you're a man, you should be making fact-based decisions based on what you think is the best decision of the time. And a lot of you guys, you just lose yourself because of the pussy. I have to get this girl, I gotta do what I gotta do. But, a lot of times it blows up in your face. You guys can choose to deal with certain women, because the women I've dealt with, they've all been, like, really good to me. And Mike's woman is great to him, because he doesn't allow himself to be a victim, and they have a good thing going, because he doesn't take any crap. He doesn't, he has a high tolerance level. He doesn't take pretty much no problems, really. They have.
Yeah, I don't lash out emotionally, because she loves to try to poke the bear, but I also poke back. So, but like I don't poke back emotionally. I always poke back.
He doesn't like hit her. He just he'll just laugh at her or something. Like,
yeah, I'll like make fun of her or something, and I'll just do something dumb, especially when she's on her period or something. When she's more emotional, try to get that emotional rage out and just find it funny.
Yeah, when I'm out here in the dating game, I could assess which woman is going to be a time waster, which woman is not going to serve me, which one is going to cause me problems in the future, and then what do? I do the magical thing of letting her go and moving on. I next her. I say bye, and I kick her out of the car. Get out of here. But no. But basically, you can choose not to let yourself be a victim, and you could choose. I've never really. I mean, I think one time I did. I went on a date with Mike knows the story. I went on a date with a feminist once. This was like before like the 2020 election, and she was trying to vote for Joe Biden, and I didn't know who I was going to vote for, so I was just like playing along with her. I was like, oh yeah, Trump sucks. I'm trying to get laid. So by the way, guys, a lot of guys do that. They pretend to like feminist politics just to get in their pants. She was, Mike, you remember this. She's like, oh, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because Donald Trump is like the worst human being. I was like, yeah, he really sucks. Like, I didn't really, I don't even know. And then my plan was to actually smash her, and then we were going to lay in the bed, and I was going to be like, oh yeah, I'm voting for Trump, by the way. And I was going to troll her like that, but it never went to that level because I just wasn't attracted to her. But the moral of the story is that you can choose not to be a victim. If you have to understand what woman you're dealing with and know what to tolerate. But if you don't know what to tolerate, then you're setting yourself up to fail, and then you complain on the internet, and then you're just mad your whole life, and then you hate yourself. And then others hate you because you hate yourself, and they can sense that.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue some more.
His own way and takes the red pill, he only has 5 options. Continue your seemingly impossible search for a good woman in the West. They might quickly deteriorate into a bad one.
You make a good
Number 2, go geomaxing and visit a country with feminine women.
What?
Feminism, on the other hand, is expanding all across the world thanks to smartphones. If the guy goes both ways, number 3 is to go gay or bi. However, even homosexual guys have informed me that finding a monogamous male partner in this day and age, when intercourse is so easy to have with a grinder, is nearly difficult. Go transsexual if you're number 4. Sure.
So now we're into
If you prefer women with a 5 o'clock shadow, number 5, go...
Yeah.
I mean, do you really have to go gay just because women have hurt you once? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Can you do that? Can you biologically, like... Can I turn my dick off on girl mode and into guy mode? I don't know. It's a button right here. I mean, go guys! I like guys. Suck dick. I love sucking dick. Like, I can't really... I don't know if that possible. You're gonna want women no matter what. Like, you can't just be gay. Like, maybe you can. If you can, let me know in the comments, because I don't know how to do that. So,
like, if certain people, I feel like there's certain people that can and certain people that can't. I feel like Andrew and I can't, but there could be people that could.
I'm having sex with too many women to be gay right now.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I feel like them telling you, yeah, be gay or be trans or something like that because women suck. I feel like that's stupid. I feel like you just do whatever you feel like is more necessary for you, and not be forced upon, have these things forced upon you. That's just something I don't like. But okay, let's we're almost done here. Let's finish this up.
Midtown, or to be more precise, go Midtown Monk, because you can still be going your own way.
What?
If you're a male who's followed steps 1 through 4, Bob even read my thoughts and remarked that just because you discover a good woman today, you never know if she'll turn on you tomorrow. Of course you don't, because Bob claims that today's risks aren't worth the returns. Even brings up all by himself as a big factor in his red pilling process.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I had something in my mind that I definitely want to share right now. So, like, they were just talking about women, like, why you shouldn't try to, be with a woman because the return on your investment won't be worth it, because who knows, like, if she's into you today, you don't know if she'll be into you tomorrow. I feel like to prevent her to not be into you tomorrow, you have to work to get her to continue to like you, and not in the way of like getting her flowers every day or something like that. It's more of just you being yourself and you treating her correctly in a way where you're not overstuffing her and over stimulating her with like love and affection. You're more of just giving her what she needs. And you yourself are the embodiment of what a man should be. And she will love that, and she would want to be with that, and she will continue to be attracted to you as long as you stay like that. Am I correct?
That's right.
So I feel like just completely signaling out women entirely because you don't know if the return on investment is going to be worth it. I feel like it will only be worth it if you put in the work for it. So regardless if I feel like if you don't want to be with women for a certain amount of time, that's fine. A lot of people do that. A lot of people should do that if they are in need of rebuilding themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, stuff like that. If they need some rebuilding time, stay away. That's fine. But once you get back into the game and you start getting back with certain women, you need to, number one, understand them, which we've been saying this entire video, and number two, you need to put in the work to keep the return on your investment if you want this person to be with you for a long period of time. Let's finish this off.
Yep.
Process. Particularly when it comes to women transforming males they date into men. They're not interested in dating Paul. If this truth offends you, take it up with the women. I didn't teach them to go for the bad boy. If I wanted erotic success with women, I'd have to become a shittier version of myself. I'd have to cut back on a lot of what was important to me in order to become bad enough as a guy to interest women. This is true because intriguing men don't fit the template and can't be labeled by women, so they can't be paraded around like a treasured progressive pony at a cocktail party. That's all I've got for today.
Yeah, so I mean, if I'm gonna talk from a selfish perspective for a second. I think every guy should be MGTOW, except Mike, me, a couple of my friends, and maybe some acquaintances at work. I think most guys in the world should be MGTOW and not deal with women, because then I'll happily take them all. It's fine. I will have sex with all of them. They're all gonna have a good time. The world's gonna be a happy place. Everybody's just casually having sex. It's fine. All you guys, I support everyone going MGTOW. That's fine. I'll have sex with all the women. Leave it to me. I'll take care of it. Don't worry, guys. Andrew to the rescue. The hero is here. I'm gonna save the world. I'm gonna have a bunch of Andrew babies, Andrew clones. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun, and everybody's gonna like it. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, there's my selfish perspective.
Now for the real one. So I feel like, and I've been saying this the entire video, Andrew has been saying it the entire video, MGTOW is, I feel, necessary in its bare bones state, where men should be focusing more on themselves, more on the things that they want to do, right? Yes. And I feel like it's best in a more of a short term type of sense, but some of the specific qualities of MGTOW should stay with you forever, meaning, you are the most important thing in your life, and your mental health and your emotional stability is also very important. And so fixing that using MGTOW is definitely great. And then once you get there, you continue to stay like that past that, and you go and start going back into the dating life, or interacting with women and stuff, and doing that thing. And then you gotta have to learn how to understand how women talk, react. You got to understand body language, all that other type of stuff with them, and understand female nature as well. So then you don't get screwed again, or just screwed in general by pretty much the whole entire world's view of how women should be and stuff.
Yeah, you really got to work on yourself. You got to take time. You want to master all the elements of the world: business, money, fitness, health, women, dating, sex. You want to master all of these different things. You want to be a jack of all trades. You want to work on your life simultaneously. Unfortunately, bad things do happen to you sometimes, and as a man, we have to take these things. We have to make it transform us into better men. We need to find things and, have it empower us and not deteriorate us, guys. We gotta, get stronger every day, no matter what the cost. It is the personal responsibility of being a man, is that you have to take things and you have to run with them, so.
Exactly, and this is also for men and women too. We can't just let ourselves become a victim of certain things and just cry victim about every single thing that goes wrong. We have to take accountability for our actions. And so if a woman wants to divorce you and takes all of her money, well, that was on you for not seeing the red flags in the beginning, or that was on you for not seeing the rippling horrible sense of the relationship going bad, and you doing what you can to fix yourself to make it better. And so, that's at least for guys. Women, they have their own specific thing that they need to do. I'm not a woman, so I can't really explain that. But I can only call for what men should be doing. And so men should not be playing victim, that we should be taking accountability for our actions. I've done this. I've played victim a lot of my life. So now I've seen that, taking accountability for your actions is what you need to be doing, because then you can see the bigger picture. You can see the things that you couldn't see before. And it definitely will help you.
This is true. Yeah, guys, so those are our thoughts on this MGTOW video. We thought it'd be interesting to go into. If you guys have any comments about what MGTOW is or what it means to you, or if you've ever heard of it or any of your thoughts on it, leave a comment for the algorithm. Let us know. We can have a good conversation about it. Hit the like button on the video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. And if you like the work that we're doing and our thoughts and you want to contribute to the channel, the Cash App is in the link of the video. So you guys can donate to us and it'll go to the equipment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this long haul, spending time with Mike and Andrew as we know it. So we'll see you guys in the next video.